What's up everybody, welcome back to yet another video. So today we are tying glass shrimp, and after I've kind of found out, or I don't know if it was me who found out, but after I discovered for myself to tie in the eyes on these shrimps way down in the hook bend here, it just changed everything. I mean, I have the feeling like I've been tying all my shrimp flies wrong. So this is a glass shrimp, but kind of built up the same way as the new era shrimp, and it was just going to happen sooner or later. So let's jump down to my vise here and tie out this glass shrimp. So the trick with this one is that you want to tie in the eyes. Let me just get these in here. Tie them in so they are just peeking out over the hook bend, or the length of the hook here in the bend, if that makes sense. And this is the easiest way to do it. I mean, you can make your eyes your own and tie them in, or you can go ahead and buy these easy shrimp eyes. Because they are easy to work with. So you don't end up with shrimps or crabs or whatever with only one eye. That's a good thing about these. They are maybe a little bit more expensive than if you were to make them yourself. So do whatever you want. Don't don't buy these just because I say it. I like to use these, and you can of course use whatever you want. This is just to showcase how I like to do things. Right, so that's the eyes in, and usually I would tie in the dubbing and all that at first and then start building up the head of the shrimp, but this is just an entirely new way of doing shrimps, at least for me. And also I've been really loving Arctic fox. Such a great material, because you get let me just show it here. You get these longer, stiffer hairs, and also in between you get this under fur, which you can use for dubbing or other stuff like that. Don't throw this away, but I will be pulling out some of that. Just place that on my table here. So I'll be using a little bit of that later on. So, but plug out some of the shortest ones to remove that bulk up in front. And then what you want to do is to tie this in on top of the hook, and in a way that it sits in between the eyes, like this. And then tie this down, still on top of the hook. So you kind of want to hold it and go down to right around this point here where the eyes end, and then cut this off at an angle. And what that will do is it will help the fly taper from thick to thin, which is exactly what you want with a pattern like this. Almost any pattern actually, it's always about the taper. So as long as you remember that, everything will be fine. Like that. Then I want to put in some flash. In this case it is just some pearl flash. I think it's crinkle flash actually, or these lateral scales. Very fine. Just get these to cooperate. So let's get these in. also on top and in between the eyes. Then I want some rubber legs, just to add a little bit of different types of movement in the head there. It's always good to have some different stuff. I mean, you have the stiffer ones here, and these are obviously very soft, and these are kind of in between. And I actually think I need to tie them in like this, because I only want two. So just use one in full length. You can always trim it afterwards. Tie these back here. To right around this point here where that fox ended. And then all the way up to where I tied in the eyes. These are obviously way too long, but you can always trim that. Then what you need is a piece of foam. You can of course go absolutely crazy with the colors here, so I will tie this one in white because that will get the most transparent when it gets in the water, so making it look like the real deal. But you can of course tie this in all sorts of colors. Tie in that foam, and that you want on the back of the hook here, or the top, not the back. This is the back, this is the front. But on the Danish word for the top of the hook, translate into back, so that's why I said back, but the top of the hook, right. This will add some height to the shrimp, and also it will help it keel right in the water, because this holds air, so it will always try to move up. That's just basic science. So flip over the fly, and then what you want to do is grab some of that under fur, and I want to tie that in down here. And this is just to give the head that final touch. Same thing here, just tie it in to right around here, and the rest you can flip over on itself. Secure that. Make sure it's on both sides. Like that. Whoop. And the legs are a little bit in the way. I think I'll just trim those now. Make sure they are a little bit uneven. That will help that it doesn't tangle. And then I need some of this wonderful material here from Pro Sport Fisher. Did you see my shorts? It is summer, so I'm wearing the pink shorts. It's just too warm in the office, actually. So these are the 3D printed pre-cut shrimp backs from Pro Sport Fisher. My absolute favorite. Let's slam that one on here. Get one turn in, maybe, just to hold it in place. I find the first turn is always the hardest with these things, even with hackles and all that. So what I'm trying to do here is to place that shrimp back so it's directly on top. I think this looks good. And that's done. Just work your way down towards the hook eye with open turns. Like this. And this is actually a little bit too long for this hook. But that doesn't matter, you can trim that off, just get a few extra wraps in here and then you can kind of grab this. And it is stretchy, this material, super durable. So just pull it and then trim it off, and that way it'll kind of tuck in under the thread wraps. Clean that up a little bit. Get in a whip finish. Just one. Trim off the tying thread. And now comes the fun part. I mean, this fly would fish just as it is here, I think. So you can try that out if you want. For the legs, I will be using these molded pre-cut legs from Easy Shrimp Eyes as well. You can of course knot your own with this material here. I made one the other day in tan. This is just the round rib from Wapsi. I like to do both, but these are also very, very, very strong. I mean, you can really yank these and they won't break. And these are also fluorescent. See here, they react to UV light. These were meant to tie in, right? But I mean, it's always hard to make these kind of things so they fit every hook, every, you know, probably impossible to, you know, get the exact right length for every hook and all that. So I like to just cut out the legs and then glue them in. It's still easy though, so put on a drop of glue here on the side. Take one leg and then just, whilst holding it, my fingers, this is not the easiest thing to do the first time you do it, but as you tie these, you will get used to it. There we go. for the other side. Put on a drop here. Maybe even a little bit on the belly, because that will help you build up the taper of this fly as you go along. So I don't have to do it all at one time, which, I mean, UV resin is super to work with, but if you have too much on there, it gets a lot harder. So and I am sorry if I'm turning the fly in a way that you can see what I'm doing here, but here it is. You see it from the top here. Next set of legs. Another drop on the belly here. Just a little bit. And again on the sides. Maybe it's easier if I do it with my right hand. This is kind of a slow process, but I kind of like it anyway. I mean, I like tying flies, so I don't mind. Cut out some more legs. If you're wondering about the glue, it is from Solares. I had a bad bottle. The last time I was using it, it was just way too thick. I don't know what had happened with that one, but this is a lot better. This is the last leg here. I don't think this one needs 4 sets of legs. Like that. And this is what we're looking at now. And these will also move very nice in the water together with the other things we've tied in here. So let's get the rest done. I have to put in a drop on the belly here. Just work it around a little bit. Until you're happy. I actually think it needs to float down a little bit, like that. So sometimes it helps to put the hook into the vise like this. It'll help the resin flow down to where I want it. Hear that? Just like that. Now for the finishing touch. Same thing here. Just place the hook in the vise because I want the shrimp to have kind of a lump on the back. So I will place it in a way that when I turn it upside down, the glue will run down and collect itself on this point here. And then when I cure it, it'll give it that bump. Cover the entire back here, over the sides. Down here. Solar Res is just such a great UV resin. It'll kind of just run out of the bottle on its own. You can see it here. So if you just pull that drop around, it'll just distribute the perfect amount all by itself. So in here you can see, I might even have to go a little bit lower here to be able to see it. And just let it hang a little bit. Now it's starting to get that lump there. It's a little bit too much. Flip that over and then do that again. This lamp is just... How many months have I been talking about getting a new lamp? Still haven't gotten myself a new lamp. Good thing that I have a few. Now that's secured. I also heard my friend Brian Smith from the Fly Smith or Ty's Flies talk about leaving the UV resin flies out in the sun to get rid of the smell of UV resin, and I've never given that a thought. If the fish, do they smell this and think I'm not eating that? Or I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Do you think the fish will eat this anyway, or will they smell the resin and not want to eat it? I mean, I've caught plenty of fish on this fly without leaving it out in the sun, but I mean, maybe the salt water washes away the smell anyway, so I don't know. Last thing here, I want to trim the legs just a little bit. Just like that. And that there is the finished... What's that? Oh, it's dust on my screen. It looked like there was a hair peeking out here, but it's fine. That's the fly there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do subscribe to my channel if you like this video. Maybe share it on your socials so my channel gets a little bit of a boost. I would really appreciate that. Try this one out, and I will see you in the next video.